But anyhow, Dave, I've got to fly because my class is starting in just a second. Hello, testing, testing. Okay, good. Speaking skills. Okay. Good morning, bonsoir, auf Wiedersehen, ni hao. Good morning, how is everyone? Welcome back, Adolfo.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good, good.
Hello.
Adolfo is in my 9 o'clock class. Elson, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Where are you from, Elson?
I'm from Albania.
Albania, so that would be Europe.
Yes.
So I should say good afternoon to you.
Yes.
Welcome. And Jessica? Hello, Jessica, can you hear me? Okay, maybe now's a good time to do a brief introduction of myself. My name is Simon. I'm your teacher today. This is an advanced class. You are expected to speak. If you cannot speak or would rather not speak, I ask that you go back to the lobby and let others enter the class that do want to speak. It is a requirement of this class that you can speak. Also, while we're in class, if you have any background noise, please mute yourself. It makes it impossible for the rest of us to hear what is going on. If you don't, then you will get muted by myself or other students. So, Jessica, can you hear me?
Yeah, Simon.
Great, thank you. And by the way, lobby, somebody just left, so if you want to join. Jessica, where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Oh, very nice. A lot of students come from Brazil.
Yeah.
What part of
And
Brazil?
you? Oh, Bahia, Salvador, Bahia.
Is that in the south or the north?
What?
Is that in the south or the north?
North.
Okay, very hot.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I say your name right. Ilyes?
Yes, it's Elias. Hi, Simon.
Ilyes,
Hi,
how are
everyone.
you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Very good, thanks. Welcome to class today. I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you. I'm glad to.
Good. I also see we have Julio, or is it Julio?
Julio, can you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, Julio, I can hear you loud and clear. And language?
Okay, thank you. I'm from Venezuela, by the way.
Welcome. We have a lot of people from South America today, a couple of people from Europe. And we have a lot of people sitting in the lobby waiting to get in. We got Maxi, we've got Vanessa, we've got Luis, Canada, Mohammed. It's a busy, busy day today.
No, I'm here, not at lobby.
Oh,
Mohammed.
no, okay.
But I good people. Okay.
Mohammed, where are you from?
I'm from Jordan.
Jordan. Okay, so good afternoon to you as well.
Good afternoon.
You have a nice country?
Yes, I like it.
Well, that's a good thing. It's always nice to like where one lives.
Yes. I live in Saudi Arabia. I work at Saudi Arabia.
Okay, yeah, I know that country too. That's to the southeast, I believe, of Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Southeast.
Yeah. And I see we have Pascal. Pascal, how are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Where are you from, Pascal?
I'm from Thailand.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Lobby, we have room for one more person. What I will do is as spots open up, I will either let you know or I'll type it in the chat window. A little bit of housekeeping, guys. If you want to take a look on the screen here, I'm going to show you a couple of things. On my chat window, I can see everybody in the lobby and the classroom, or click Hangout only for the classroom only. That's because I'm using the Kalingo chat right here. Okay. Today what we're going to do is we're going to read from newspaper articles in CNN.com as well as USA Today. But I'm going to focus on how you're speaking and help you improve the pronunciation of certain words or sounds. So to start off with, everybody loves this subject. It's about food.
Oh.
Good one.
So if everybody could open up that link. And the first paragraph, well, let me read the title. The title is, We'll Travel for Food. Share your favorite local eateries. And the first paragraph starts off with, hungry travelers are seeking authentic culinary experiences at home and abroad. Adolfo, would you be able to read the next paragraph starting off with steaming?
Okay. Steaming bubble baskets of pump soup, dumplings arrive at your table. You could be in Shanghai, China, or even San Francisco, Chinatown. But one thing is for sure, with one taste of the delicate hand-rolled skins and rich, savory broth, you're hooked. Especially when you look around and realize that you're the only out-of-towner in the room.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm getting feedback from somebody. Who do we have feedback from? Is it Pascal? Okay, thank you. Oh, Luis, welcome to the class. We have another spot open up, Vanessa. Yeah, sorry guys, because when I'm in the other screen, I can't always jump back quickly. So if somebody is making a lot of noise, feel free to mute. That's okay. Sometimes we just have to do that. Okay, I heard a few words.
Hello.
Adolfo. Hello, Vanessa. Could you say plump soup for me, please?
Plum soup.
Okay, and the word soup again?
Soup.
Okay. Elson, soup.
Soup.
Okay, I'm going to give you two words now. Coop, soup. They have the same sound. Let me take off screen share. Okay, I'm going to zoom in so you can see my lips move. Coop, soup. All right?
Yes.
Jessica, could you say those two words, please?
What words?
The ones I just pasted in chat.
Just a moment.
It's in the Kalingo
Soup.
chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Soup, Coop.
Very good.
Right?
Close. Soup is correct. Coop has the same sound. Soup, coop.
Coop.
To pronounce the hard P, coop.
Again?
Yeah, but focus on the P this time. Soup, coop.
Soup, Coop.
Good. You're still relaxing the P. A lot of English speakers do this, but it's important, especially if you have an accent, to pronounce the P. So, Luis, would you like to try soup, coop?
Soup, coop.
Very good. Notice the hard P coming from Luis when he spoke. It's like you're doing a P. You're pushing air.
Okay.
Is there a
Mohammed.
problem if you do not pronounce it?
If you were born in the United States or England, no, people will understand what you're saying. However, if you have a strong accent and you're speaking, they may not understand what you're saying. It might sound like a different word.
Oh, I see.
No, Maxie, I woke up several hours ago. This is my second class today already. Mohammed, it's your turn.
Soup.
Soup
Soup.
and Coop.
Soup and Coop.
Very good. Pascal?
Okay. Soup and Coop.
Good. Paulino?
Soup and Coop.
Very good. Vanessa?
Soup and Coop.
Very good. Okay, we're going to go back to the article. Elson, could you read the second paragraph, please?
Yes. To celebrate this distinct pleasure of being an insider wherever you may be, CNN and Travel plus Leisure are joining forces for the delicious multi-platform series. 100 places to eat like a local.
Okay, now this is a tricky word. Okay, so we have leisure. Some people say leisure.
Leisure.
Leisure or leisure. It's the same word depending on what part of the country you're from. You might say leisure or leisure. Either is good, or either is good. Okay, going back to the article. Jessica, if you could please read the paragraph starting with "we will." And I think you're muted, so you'll have to unmute yourself if you're going to speak. The unmute is in the top right. Okay, Luis, could you read the paragraph, "we will be gathering"?
Yes. We will be gathering our intel through iReports, canvassing our network of correspondents and chefs across the globe, and gathering on the grounds dispatched from CNN reporters. This series will look to the food obsessed everywhere for the recommendation of their favorite uniquely local spots. Trattorias, noodle cart, clan shacks, taco stands, izakayas, coffee houses, page series, whether in their hometowns or further afield.
Okay, thank you. There's a lot of tricky words here. Some of them even I don't know how to say. But let's focus on some of the more common words. Okay, we're getting some noise here. Where is that coming from? Let me just switch over. Yeah, Jessica, unfortunately, you're getting muted a lot because we get a lot of background noise. So I heard several words here. They are, that's a bad way. Let me put commas there so it's easier. Okay, the words are chefs, this, obsessed, uniquely, and coffee houses. Adolfo, when would you like to try those, please?
Okay. Chefs, this, obsessed, uniquely, in coffee houses.
Very good. Very well done. Next, please.
Elson?
Sorry, there we go. Elson, yes.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, when I generally go in order from left to right, so if you look at everybody's video at the bottom of the Hangout, that's the order I go in. So Elson, if you would like to go next, please.
Okay. Chefs, this, obsessed, uniquely, coffee houses.
Great. Ahmed, the courses start on the hour, so this class started 13 minutes ago. Jessica, if you could read, please.
Okay. Chefs, this, obsessed, how I say this?
Uniquely.
Uniquely, coffee houses.
Coffee houses.
Coffee houses.
Yes, very good. The S is not silent most of the time, so that's important. So chef. This one's not the easiest, and with an S on the end of it, it's chefs. Okay. So let's see. Luis, could you try them again, please?
Chefs, this, obsessed, uniquely, coffee houses.
Excellent. Mohammed.
Chefs, this, obsessed, uniquely, coffee houses.
Pascal.
Chefs, this, obsessed, uniquely, coffee houses.
Thank you very much. Paulino.
Chefs, this, obsessed, uniquely, coffee houses.
Thank you. And Vanessa.
Chefs, this, obsessive, uniquely, coffee houses.
Okay, good. By the way, for those of you in the lobby, what I recommend is as the students are reading it out loud, read it out loud at the same time. Okay, so let's go back to the story. This time, Mohammed, if you could read the next paragraph starting with according to.
Okay. According to a 2009 World Food Travel Association study of 11,000 self-identified culinary travelers in 37 countries, authentic and localist dining experience ranks as top travel motivators, and the organization predicts those factors rate even higher today.
Thank you.
Continue. Okay.
I heard two words that I'd like everybody to try. Association and culinary. Association, culinary. Adolfo.
Association, culinary.
Thank you. Elson.
Association, culinary.
Thank you very much. Luis.
Association, culinary.
Mohammed.
Association, culinary.
Very good. Pascal.
Association, culinary.
Thank you very much. Ria.
Hello?
Yep, if you could read those two words, please. Association and culinary, if you could say them out loud. Okay, unfortunately, it looks like we do have a problem with your connection. We'll try you again in a few minutes. Vanessa.
Association, culinary.
Okay, very good. We've been doing very well for the last 17 minutes. What I would like to do now, if you've got a question, Vanessa, just write it down. We'll get to that in a minute. When reading, it's something we do quite well and it's very easy. However, when we have to speak, it becomes a lot harder to do. What I want to focus on now is how to speak. You notice I'm talking a little slower right now, even though it's an advanced class. When I get into a speaking mode, I change the tone and the pace at which I speak. If you speak fast, people don't hear you. They might hear what you're saying, but they're not listening. So it's very important that when you're speaking, speak at a regular pace. If you have trouble speaking English, then choose a slower pace. Faster means, well, if you speak faster, it's going to get worse, not better. If you want to improve your pronunciation, speak slower. Also, look ahead. Don't read word for word. It's normal for most people when you read, you generally look at 3 words at a time. Your eyes don't look at every word. So, for example, at the beginning of the article, just before I speak, I glance ahead at the sentence, and then I start to speak. And what you try to do is try to think of, well, do I want to pause here? You don't always pause at a comma. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you change your tone. Notice when you're talking to your friends. You're very happy. You speak very naturally. Your speech is very smooth because you know what you're going to say. So, for example, if I look at the first paragraph again, listen to how I speak. Steaming bamboo baskets of plump soup dumplings arrive at your table. You could be in Shanghai, China, or even San Francisco's Chinatown. But one thing is for sure. With one taste of their delicate hand-roll skins and rich, savory broth, you're hooked. Especially when you look around and realize that you're the only out-of-towner in the room. Can anybody tell me what was unique about how I spoke there? Vanessa.
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
What was unique about how I spoke?
The intonation of the sentences, the emphasis that you give to the sentence.
Intonation.
Hmm.
Okay.
And you speak slow, and people can understand you better.
Okay, good. This is an advanced class, but I was still speaking at a slower speed. Rhythmic, very good, Mohammed. That's a very good word. Why is that important, rhythmic?
To understand the meaning of
To
the
understand, yeah.
article.
Instead of just speaking the words, I'm conveying a meaning. I'm conveying warmth. Were you interested in what I was saying by the way I was speaking? Let me read it again really fast. Steaming bamboo baskets of pump soup dumplings arrive at your table. You could be in Shanghai, China, or even San Francisco, Chinatown. But one thing is for sure, with the taste of our delicate hand-roll skills and rich savory broth, you're hooked, especially when you're around and realize that you're the only outsider in town. Luis, what did that sound like?
It sounds like a robot.
Yeah. Sounds boring too, doesn't it?
It's not natural. It's not natural.
No. What I'm going to do now is we're going to continue reading. Now, I haven't read this story before. I just saw the title. I scanned it quickly to see if there were any words that would be fun for the class. I wanted to make sure it was an article where there was nobody getting killed, there was no politics. It was just a nice Saturday afternoon article to read. So the next paragraph in that article is more than ever. Who would like to volunteer to read that?
May I?
Yes, you may. Now, think of what I said about not going too fast, trying to scan ahead and adjust your intonation. So, yes, please go ahead.
Okay. More than ever, food-minded travelers are following the old adage, when in Rome or Memphis or Moscow or Melbourne, and seeking out only in dining experiences they can't get at home. Be it an off-the-beaten-path ribs joint in Memphis or a croissant quest in Paris, there's a measurable return to what's real. Those places and dishes that locals and travelers alike obsess over.
Very well said. Very well said. Okay, who else would like to try reading that paragraph?
May I?
Okay, I tell you what, I'll go with Vanessa, and then Jessica, was that you requesting? Who else requested?
Pascal.
Pascal? Okay, so Vanessa, you go first. Take your time.
Okay. Beyond giving a destination a distinct flavor, these places are often also a source of hometown pride, and with good reason. Whether you're ordering a grill taki roll at Can Kacha, a beloved local institution in New Delhi since 1988, or an overstuffed lobster roll lunch with lemony mayo at off-the-radar Holbrook's lobster. Worf. Sorry, these words are very complicated. Worf in Hartwell, Maine. You are sure to find happy residents, and a few in the know travelers too.
Excellent. Yeah, that one word that threw you off is wharf. For the men in the class that know Star Trek, just think of wharf. It's the same pronunciation. Wharf is like a pier or a dock. Okay, I'm going to pick a different article now. And then we'll let Pascal read.
Okay.
I
The
pronounce
article
well lobster. This word.
Well, Vanessa, I'll get back to you in a sec. What I would like you guys to do is go ahead and read the article. And then I'm going to ask you to read it out loud. That should give you a chance to prepare yourself more, to be able to read more naturally and adjust your intonation. So, Vanessa, what were some of your questions?
I would like to know how to pronounce the word that I type. Lobster? Lobster.
Yeah, you said that one perfectly. Lobster.
Okay. Okay.
Any other words?
This one. Laced. I don't know.
Laced.
Okay. Perfect.
The salmon was laced with sugar. Not something you want with salmon. Any other words?
Mayo? Do you say mayo?
I got it. You have to type it because I'm not sure. I've gone away from the article. Oh, Elson. Well, that's a tough one because that's not an English word. It is now, but croissant or croissant. The T is silent. The T is silent because it's a French word. J'aime beaucoup le croissant.
Oh.
I like the croissant a lot. Mayo is short for mayonnaise.
Mayo, okay.
It's a very, very horrible thing. It's just a very, very fatty sauce with no flavor. A lot of people like it. All right, let's go to the article. Firelight Twilight. Let me make my screen a little bigger because the text is very, very big with this site. So, Twilight Eyes franchise record at the box office. Sorry, at box office. There was no the there. Who would like to read the first paragraph? Who hasn't spoken in a while? Oh, Pascal, you said you wanted to speak, so Pascal, why don't you go first?
Okay. What should I start? What word?
After racking up more than.
Okay. After racking up more than $2.5 billion worldwide, the Twilight franchise says farewell with Breaking Dawn Part 2, which analysts say could be a record breaker for the series.
Well, Pascal, you sound like you could be a news presenter. Very well done. Let me read it for you as well so you can hear the way I speak.
Okay.
After racking up more than $2.5 billion worldwide, the Twilight franchise says farewell with Breaking Dawn Part 2, which analysts say could be a record breaker for the series. Now you'll notice that when I read it, I didn't say $2.5 billion. I just chose not to say that. Sometimes you can. It's up to you. Technically, Pascal said it correct, and I changed it a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Who would like to read next?
May I?
Yes, Paulino. Since there's two short paragraphs, why don't you read the next two?
Twilight's last gleaming will light up the box office this weekend, possibly to record numbers for the franchise. The Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2, the final installment of the cinematic vampire love story, invades theaters on more than 4,000 screens.
Thank you very much. Guys, what do you think about the way Paulino spoke? Keep in mind, we're all in the circle of trust. What did you think about...
I think he read the fast. He have a rhythmic. He have a tone. It's a good reading.
Yeah, he had a pretty good intonation.
Yeah.
He had a good tone. Anybody else? Yes, Luis, it was good. It was good.
The rhythmics was good too.
Yeah, richness. It's almost as though he had read this before. He was familiar with it. You wanted to hear him speak. Yes, and as Paulino said, we're in a circle of trust. What's important is we don't want to just hear things that we did well. That helps make us feel confident. But it's also important that we're truthful with each other. If you didn't like, or you could say something like, yes, Paulino, that was good, but you could work on this. Is there anything that Paulino could work on? I'm not surprised because Paulino, that was actually very good.
But
Obviously, some of the problems that threw you were when you saw Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2, there was a colon in there, a couple of dashes. It's also the name of something. So in that case, when you see something like that, before you start speaking, take a quick scan, think in your mind how you want to say it, and then just deliver it that way. And newspaper articles are filled with things that can trip us up. Okay, the next paragraph, who would like to read that?
May I?
Yes, Elson, please go ahead.
Okay. Analysts expect the movie to open to about $145 million, which would beat the mark set by the Twilight Saga. New Moon. That film opened to $143 million in 2009 and went on to make $2,097 million. Since Twilight opened in 2010, the franchise has racked up $1.1 billion in North America and more than $2.5 billion worldwide.
Very well done. I think you spoke it well. Does anybody have any comments or criticisms?
I heard he's saying 2010.
Yeah, and sometimes I do that too. Sometimes we say things opposite to what we see or different to what we see. Okay. Anything else?
I think at the beginning he was very slow. At the beginning, he read very slow, so then he become good.
Yeah, and a lot of these problems can be solved by sometimes just taking a breath. I get nervous when I speak in front of people. Just before class, I get a little bit of nervousness. What I and other people do is we like to just sometimes pause, maybe even close our eyes, take in a deep breath, and relax. When you're reading something, it's always good to start by scanning ahead a little bit. And in your mind, tell yourself how you're going to say it. You notice how I'm taking about a pause between each sentence here? That's only about a second. And as I've shown in other classes, when you do have a pause, especially if you're speaking fast, or especially when you're speaking with a lot of tone or forcefulness, a pause has people listening to every word you're saying. A news presenter doesn't speak that way, but if I was trying to sell you, I would read it a little differently. So for those that are in sales, you might read differently. So for example, analysts expect the movie to open to about $145 million, which would beat the mark set by the Twilight Saga, New Moon. That film opened to $143 million in 2009 and went on to make $297 million. Since Twilight opened in 2008, the franchise has racked up $1.1 billion in North America and more than $2.5 billion worldwide.
What is franchise?
Everybody heard of McDonald's?
No.
The restaurant?
Yes.
Okay. That is not owned by McDonald's. Muhammad, if he wanted to open a McDonald's restaurant, he could. He would call up McDonald's and say, look, I would like to open up a McDonald's. And they'll say, that's fine, Muhammad. Where do you live? Ah, I live in Jordan. Do you live in a big city? Oh, yes, I do. Okay, well, we can give you a franchise. We'll sell it to you for $1.5 million. So Muhammad gives $1.5 million to McDonald's and agrees to give them a certain percentage of sales every year. He owns the company, but he licenses it. As long as he keeps paying McDonald's money, he owns that franchise and can sell it at a future date. So a franchise is when you borrow the licensing from some other company, you pay them some money, and you own the store yourself. Examples are McDonald's, General Motors, Ford, Mercedes, Home Depot, Kentucky Fried Chicken. They're all franchise stores.
Any brands have it?
No,
franchise?
branch is different. Branch is very different. So,
But
for
there is-
example, in Canada, we have a bank called the Royal Bank of Canada. It has about 2,000 stores. They're called banks, but they're corporate owned. They report directly to what the company says, so those are called branches. That's when the company owns them. A franchise is when the company doesn't own them.
Okay. I understand.
Okay? Any questions on how to improve speaking? Do any of you have any questions? Vanessa?
No. Everything is okay.
Okay. Ria?
Yes, I like to know that how to understand the native speakers. Like I understand you completely okay, but when I see the movies, then I can't understand them without the English subtitles.
Well, there's a good reason for that, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes I don't understand it either.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, there are times where I have to turn subtitles on. And you're laughing, but I'll explain why, and you all know it. You in your own language, you'll recognize this. So let me explain. If you're watching an action movie, and there's a lot of explosions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Plus you have people shouting. And if people aren't pronouncing the words correctly, or there might be slang, or there might be what we call a regional dialect. These all create noise in the communication cycle. So when we're communicating, we have person A and person B. Let me make sure you guys can see this. So when people are speaking in a movie, one person sends a message to person B, and then P sends back a message. Well, when there's noise here, this message gets interrupted and we can't hear it properly. So if you can listen and hear and understand movies well, you're doing a lot better, because this is one of the toughest ways to learn how to speak English. In my last class, I mentioned audiobooks. This is a great way, because quite often you can pick people who speak well. Now keep in mind, I'm on my best behavior today. I'm articulating my words and enunciating them in a way that I don't normally do when I'm talking to my friends. Movies are different. Now, Ria, if you're watching a romance movie, do you have many problems with what is being said?
I think I have less problems when I watch romantic movies.
And why is that?
I think because there is no noise,
Yeah.
what you find in an action movie.
That's true. Now, I've been speaking English all my life, so I do better when there's a lot of noise. But for you, it's going to be tougher. The only thing I can suggest is just you keep practicing, listening to English speakers. Ria, you have a great clarity to the way you speak. I can understand you. You've got a noticeable accent, but it's not a bad thing.
Okay.
And what I mentioned before, I said something called dialect. What is the difference between a dialect and an accent?
I don't have any idea.
To most people, there is no difference. So, Ria, you have an Indian. Are you from India?
Yes.
Okay, so you have an Indian accent, right? Now,
Yes.
me, I'm a native English speaker speaking in Toronto. So I would have what is considered a Canadian or Torontonian dialect. A dialect is a variation in pronunciation within one's own language.
Okay.
So you might say, if I spoke this way, right, all right, I'm trying to do an English accent now, and I've been trying to speak so properly that I'm having trouble getting it out. So let me think. How would I speak English now? Right. Polly now, how you doing?
Quite all right.
Right, lovely. What are you doing today? You going to the football match?
No, I don't like soccer much. Football, I guess, in Britain.
Right. So some people would say I'm speaking with an English accent. Technically, I'm speaking with an English dialect.
Okay.
So anyhow, back to what I was saying. So if you're having trouble with movies, well then focus on movies where there's more talking and less violence and noise. Focus on dramas. Focus on romance. Action.
Should I continue watching movies with subtitles, or I should watch them without the subtitles?
Well, if you can watch them without, do so, because what happens is whenever you have subtitles, you're forced to read them.
Yes, right.
When my girlfriend's watching movies with me and I put subtitles on because she's a native Chinese speaker,
okay,
I always end up reading them myself.
Mm.
I find them distracting. So if you really want to test yourself, turn them off.
Okay.
You can always watch the movie a second time or rewind.
Right.
In my case, I have permanent on listen to music. During instance, on
well, music is very tough too. And I can tell you, even if you listen to the radio stations in Toronto, there's a lot of stations that have these challenges where it's hard to understand the lyric, and they'll say, "Can you guess what this says?" So music is completely different. Music is creative. Singing by itself is a way of changing the normal ways of pronouncing words. So it's a good way to learn English, but then, you know what? Go online and look up the lyrics for a song if you're having trouble. If I can spell words right. There we go. That's the best way. The best tools, like I said, audiobooks, documentaries, TV shows can be helpful, but keep in mind they might be using regional dialects. You want to focus on more of what is called a standard English, a standard US English or a standard BBC English. If you learn to speak with a standard English, people around the world will understand you. If you learn to speak with a Southern US English, well, people in the North may not understand you, and people in England certainly won't. Can I speak RP? What's RP?
Receipt pronunciation?
Sorry, I don't understand. Receipt?
Received pronunciation. It's one of the standards of English in England.
I've never heard of that one.
I'll send you the link.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with what is called the Queen's English, BBC English. Let me take a look at this.
Right. When I send you the link, when I was studying English in Argentina, most of my teachers were studied in England, and they studied with the RP pronunciation.
Okay. Okay, good point. Now, because I'm working for Kalingo here, and it's about talk to an American, I focus mostly on, because that's what people are looking for, somebody who's a native speaker within the US. Canadians generally sound very similar to the US Standard English. So I focus on that, but because I know we've got people from Armenia, from Spain, and other parts of Europe, I also bring up the different spellings between UK and US because it's important to know. All right, any other questions about pronunciation or how to speak and in what settings to speak what?
I have one.
Sure.
Okay. Sometimes I have to keep a telephone conversation with Germany, for example. It's difficult to me sometimes to understand because how you can see the person that you are talking is most difficult. How can improve my telephone skills?
The same way that you can improve your normal speaking skills. Just practice speaking more. Come to as many Kalingo classes as you can. What I would suggest too is if you have the opportunity, if you know a native English speaker, try to get some free one-on-one sessions by just talking about whatever it is. If you have a friend who's from Britain and they have a good BBC type, just spend more time talking to them. If you don't have access to that, consider getting some private tutoring and just focus on conversation. Don't focus on grammar lessons. Just focus on speaking. Say, all I want to do for an hour is just speak to you. And make sure you do the speaking. Don't let them speak all the time or you're not benefiting.
One thing that I do is to prepare the conversation that I'm going to have and to write me more or less the things that I have to ask.
Yeah, and also try to avoid cell phones. They have at least in North America, they have the worst voice quality. Avoid a cheap phone. Even I have trouble. I'll just say, look, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. It's very, and I'll say it. I'll say, there's a lot of noise on the line, or it's not clear. Blame the phone, blame the connection, don't blame the person. Louisa asked a question. Louisa, could you, I don't think she's in the class here. She's in the lobby. What's your question, Louisa? Oh, Paulino, I did not know that. It might help explain why your English is so good. While I wait for Louisa, whereabouts in the U.S.?
I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, yes. Yes, we talked about this the other day.
We did. So,
yes.
But you have so many classes, I understand.
Yes.
So I'm learning to speak Minnesotan. I had to say okie dokie, Minnesota.
Yeah, sure, you betcha.
You betcha, yeah, okie dokie.
Yeah, schnookums, yeah, that's right. Yeah, sure, you betcha.
Oh, wait. That's not Minnesotan. That's
North Dakota.
That's Norwegian accent.
But that's also North Dakota. If watch the movie Fargo, if you want to hear how people talk in Minnesota and North Dakota.
Yes, that's the first movie I saw before coming to Minnesota.
Well, you picked a cold place. You have courage going that far north. Louisa, the words are committed and entrepreneurs. Committed, entrepreneurs. Well, guys, do you feel like doing more work or do you want to relax?
Relax.
Okay, so we're done with the main part of class. We're going to have a test. Luis, what kind of test do you want?
Could be, Simon, a game?
Yes. You'll get to practice some speaking skills, especially in interrogation. You're going to ask questions. All right?
Yes.
So I'm going to come up with a word or a phrase from today. And Luis, could you explain the rules, please?
Oh, yes. Simon put space blanks on the whiteboard. And space blanks are words or sentence. You have to describe which letters. And we have to ask in the formal question, can I have blah, blah, blah. When you have a mistake, Simon draw a piece of body of your children.
Yeah.
Of your child.
I like Sticky. I don't want him to die. All right, Luis, since George isn't here, if you could man the sounds, the sound effects, and play dramatic music for us as we play. I'm going to start with Adolfo. For those of you that are in the lobby, you can also play. You can put suggestions in the chat, and people in the class, watch for the suggestions. You can use them if you like, or come up with your own. So, Adolfo, you get to go first.
Okay. Can I have the letter E?
The letter E, a very good choice. Cue the music. E. We have one E. Elson.
Yes. Can I have the letter A?
The letter A.
I think my Google Effects not working.
Oh dear, who else would like to? There we go. Who did that? If you could just man the sounds, please.
No, it's not. It's working now.
Okay, good. All right, thank you very much. And Louise, it is your turn. We have 2 letters on the board, and Sticky is safe.
Can you have a letter R?
Can I have the letter R? There is one R. Very well done. Mohammed.
Can I have letter C?
Can I have the letter C? Are you sure? Dramatic music, please. The letter C.
Okay.
Very well done. Thank you, Luis. All right.
Yeah.
It is now Pascal's turn.
I think I.
Oh, the letter I. Interesting. Will there be an I? The suspense. There is an I, a single I. Paulino.
May I please have the letter T as in Thomas, sir?
Are you sure, Paulino? Are you absolutely sure? Do you need to phone a friend?
I don't need to phone a friend. I'm
Would you
sure.
like 50-50?
I like $50, yes.
Okay, well, if you get this right, I'll give you 50.
Okay. T as in
Dramatic
Thomas.
music, please, Luis.
Oh, it's not to work again.
Dun 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 dun. There is no T. So, Raphael, there is no. It can't be present. But keep an eye on the chat window, guys. And now it is up to Vanessa.
Can I have the letter F, please?
F as in Frank?
S, no.
S as in Sam?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you get this wrong, we'd have to blame William. Dramatic music, please. Okay, that's not so dramatic. All right, Adolfo.
Letter. I think it's a G.
Can I have the letter G? Full sentences, please. There is one G. And it is now up to Elson.
Can I have the letter O?
The letter O. Are you sure?
No.
You might want to rethink that. Louisa suggested a letter. You might want to consider it.
Can I have a letter N?
Well, see, that was very smart. Although it wasn't your turn, I will let you have it. 2 N's. Elson, what would you like? Would you like to guess the phrase?
No. Can I have the letter D?
The letter D. Aha, I think you might know what it is now.
Breaking down.
Very good. Yep, that was from one of the articles that we read.
But no.
So again, there's a couple of things I want to summarize before we play another game. If you want to improve your speaking, audiobooks. They're pretty cheap. Some are even free. You can get them through iTunes, plus I'm sure you can find them on the web. Talk to English speakers. Coming to these classes is a great way. You do it in a class setting. You get to learn from others. You get to speak, but you don't get to speak as much as you would if you were speaking one-on-one. If you have any friends that speak English, then feel free to spend a lot of time talking to them. Speak in English as much as you can. If you don't have access to that, then consider getting a private tutor in your area that can talk to you, well, where you do most of the talking, have conversations. It's very important. But again, take advantage of all these free classes here. One-on-ones are very helpful. I do tend to have them once in a while. And let's see what time. We've got 5 minutes, so we got time for another game. And this time, I'm going to pick a different word. No, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do one word. It's a word that people had trouble pronouncing. It has 8 letters in it. All right. Who would like to start us off? Okay, Vanessa, if you could start us off, please.
Yes. Can I have the letter A, please?
Oh.
No. A.
There are 2 A's. Adolfo.
Can I have letter E?
Letter E. Dramatic music, please. The other kind of dramatic, as in bad. There is no E. Actually, okie dokie is British, and I've heard it in the US too. It's kind of old-fashioned. Elson.
Can I have the letter N?
The letter N. Look at this. There is an N. Luis.
And can I have a letter C?
Dun, dun. Dun, dun. There is no C. Mohammed.
G.
There is no G. I pay attention to Luisa's comments. She's very good at this.
I get it. I think I get it. I have
Okay.
to wait.
Well, let me get Louisa's one. She suggested something. Okay. Does that help you, Vanessa?
Why?
Yeah. Analyst.
Okay.
Very well done. Somebody's chair sounds like a rooster.
Yes.
Okay, we've got a few minutes left. If you are rushing up to another class, you might want to go now. At 3 o'clock, or I should say in 3 hours, it's 3 o'clock my time, we're going to have a conversation class.
Okay.
Think of what you want to talk about. We talked about having conversations with native English speakers is a good way of learning to speak. So in this class, I want you to come to me with things you want to talk about. Hobbies, favorite TV shows. We're just going to talk. Casual conversation. There's no lesson plan. If you want to show us things, yeah, we can talk about films. Whatever you want. That's what we're going to do in 3 hours. So what are you guys going to do in the next 3 hours? Are you going to relax, go have lunch, have dinner?
Lunch.
What are your plans?
I'm going to have dinner with my family. It's Saturday night.
Yeah, big Saturday night. I want to have lunch.
I want to have dinner.
Yeah, I want to have breakfast too. I haven't had that either.
Haven't you?
No, because I woke up and I have a 9 o'clock class, so I really didn't have much time. I had some tea and that was about it.
You said you'd have breakfast after that class.
Yeah, well, because I think of breakfast as the first meal of the day. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm getting a little hungry. I got to eat something. Well, Louisa, we will look forward to seeing you. It'll be late. And for those of you that were in the lobby, thanks for sticking with us. It was a fun class today. I will see you guys